What's up, y'all? My name is Andrew. I'm a visual artist, and today I wanted to give you a behind-the-scenes look at my painting called Summoning Hurricanes. I completed this painting about a year ago, and I was able to capture a few cell phone images along the way of the process. It's part of my Elements series. The Elements series is where I explore the four main elements. So it's earth, air, water, and fire. This particular painting is an air element. I sometimes like provocative titles in my paintings, so I went with Summoning Hurricanes, and that title alone actually kept me really inspired while working on this one. So after I did a fairly detailed drawing and a color study, the drawing was transferred to the panel, and in this one, the panel I'm using is aluminum composite. In this picture, all the drawing errors have been worked out, and I fully use my artistic license in every painting. And in this one, I elongated her back, I extended her arm, and I even made the hip area just a little bit wider. All of this was just to find an even more graceful gesture and proportion. Prior to this, I had toned the panel in a light warm gray, and I let that dry for a couple days so it wasn't stark white. And I started with an area that I knew I wouldn't mess up right from the start. Whenever I'm painting head wraps, fabrics, or other objects, I like to do a monochromatic underpainting to keep it very simple and very logical. If I went straight with thick color, I could easily get confused with all the folds in the wraps. Part of the allure of an oil painting is to be able to add multiple layers over a period of time. And this is what gives paintings that glow when you actually see them in person. I did something in this painting that I actually no longer do in my works now, which is a monochromatic underpainting for the flesh areas. You can see it here on her shoulder and on her upper back. I ended up doing her entire body this way, but I realized I actually could have saved a little bit of time if I just would have used a thinned down version of the colors that I really wanted to use instead. And that's actually my method now. I'll explain this further in another video. So after finishing the body, I moved to the bowl, but now was a great time to use the monochrome underpainting. For the artists watching this, the color that I used was raw umber. So here's a finished shot of the underpainting, and as you can see, all this is just a map of the lighter and the darker values, and this is what keeps the painting very logical. It's really kind of the divide and conquer mentality while working. So now it's really time to just add some thicker color. Sometimes in a painting you have to play chess and actually think a couple moves ahead, and it was the case here in the wrap. The wrap was eventually going to be a deep red, but I painted it a darker gray so I can add a thin red layer of oil paint in the end. The camera actually made the hue a little bit too blue, but you get the gist. But anyway, this was just to divide the work even further and keep it really clean. And I'll try to cover glazing in a future video. I worked up the background the same way until the entire painting was covered except for her body. Alright, so here's another step I no longer do in my current paintings, which is a grisaille underpainting for the flesh. You can see here is just one string of color, but in different values. And I finished her entire body this way. I think I added about 2 layers in the grisaille before getting to the true colors in her skin in the final layers. I started adding red to the head wrap and actually had a lot of fun doing this part, probably because it was one of the easiest things to do at this point. So more colors were added to the sky, and now we're really in the thick of it. So now I'm just adding nuance, I'm adjusting values, and I'm making everything look as good as I can. I can now start the final layers of her skin to make her look even more lifelike. So most artists will admit that the final details is where you really have a lot of fun. I decided to push the narrative a little bit further by giving her an earring symbolizing what a hurricane would look like from above. And of course, adding a little magic. And the final painting.